The real reason golfers hate playing against Rory Mcilroy. In this video, let's find out the real reason golfers hate playing against Rory Mcilroy new. Despite being popular and many reasons for the fans to be loved, players playing against him, and in fact, most of them hate it when they get to play golf with Rory Mcilroy. He indeed is the target of all other golfers around. But actually, why? Mcilroy isn't bad at all. For many golfers, he can leave them with a bad taste of the match, and maybe it is actually the reason many hates him. His opponents anonymously have admitted that they hate to play with him. It's a fact now, and why they hate him is known too. In this video, let's find out. Let's start. You might have heard people saying, "You should go, Rory Mcilroy, you're just a traitor. A West Brit too, not even Irish are you. Do not attempt to declare for us again. Instead, return to your nation of origin." The biggest PR blunder Rory Mcilroy could have made was his recent claim that he was withdrawing from his consideration for the Olympics due to his worries about the Zika virus. Since it became known that golf would be included in this year's games, there has been a great deal of speculation about whether he would participate, and if so, for whom. He was originally British before becoming Irish. He was initially admitted, and then, following a protracted discussion, he was expelled. He's been perplexed by this problem for a while now. Maybe he didn't want to play because of the controversy surrounding his nationality. If that were the case, it would have made sense, but after that he remained silent. Instead, he came up with some ludicrous justification that his withdrawal was brought on by a mysterious illness. You would have to say that it was a pretty weak justification, given that the likelihood of infection is roughly 3 in every 100,000. He insulted not just our intelligence, but also the people of Brazil, who had fought against prejudice to host the tournament. With his statement, such illogical reasoning can negatively impact the nation's reputation and tourism sector. Mcilroy made a big error by choosing to cancel an event based on such speculative facts. But Shane Lowry also used the same justification. The level of contempt Mcilroy endured, in contrast to the unwavering affection lavished on Lowry, best captures the disparities in the Irish psyche. Lowry is considered to be one of us. His attraction is greatly enhanced by the fact that his body type is more reminiscent of the typical Irish man. He had the appearance and demeanor of the kind of guy you want to go for a jar with. On the other hand, Mcilroy's toned form makes us feel even more self-conscious. The Offaly guy is a social and amiable kind of guy. It is evident that he enjoys his dinners and beers. He is a huge GAA fan. His debut victory came in a 2009 Amateur Irish Open at a drenched County Louth Avenue. He couldn't even cash the €500,000 check at the time because he wasn't a professional. From that point forward, Lowry became inextricably linked to the public's affection. There were rarely any unfavorable comments made about his decision to leave the games. And you'd have to assume that has nothing to do with what he did, and everything to do with who he is. Nobody anticipates Lowry's being successful, but when there is one, we treasure it. If Lowry's is the archetypal tale of the underdog, Mcilroy's is that of the overdog. He was a young prodigy who always appeared to be headed for a bright future in the sport. Since he was 15 years old, he has been subject to expectations of, and demands for, immediate success. Every victory has been met with a shrug of the shoulders, as though that were the proper response. We don't consider his 4 majors and congratulate him on his accomplishments. We consider everything he has lost and wonder why he has fallen so far short. It's tempting to think of Mcilroy as the Bono of the Irish athletic community, given all the unwarranted bile being directed at him. We look for ways to criticize him rather than be glad that one of our countrymen is doing so well at a high level in a fiercely competitive industry. Yes, we are aware of his abilities. Yes, he is prosperous, but my goodness, do we despise him for it. We feel as though he is talking down to us every time he talks. Is the root of the problem or something more profound? That's not to suggest Rory hasn't erred in this entire process. He most certainly has. You can't be engaged to a professional tennis player, break the engagement at the last minute, and not anticipate some backlash, or without raising too many questions, agree to a $25 million payment for breach of contract with your management business. Nevertheless, he is 27. Do you mean to suggest that you were mere pleased with whatever you accomplished before the age of 30? I'm not, I know it. Since he was in his mid-teens, McIlroy has lived his life in a fishbowl. Every in-flight tantrum has been a newsworthy event, and every new romance has been used as a material for tabloid articles. But it's kind of surprising how well he's held up when you think about the degree of scrutiny he's been exposed to. No Britney Spears, Drew Barrymore-style Hollywood collapse has occurred. Any setbacks have been more on the minor Hollywood coast scale than they have been major catastrophes on the scale of California. Being an early prodigy is challenging. Freddie Adu, Neil Lamptey, and other young football whiz kids are just a few examples of those who have crumbled under the strain of being the next great thing. Even Rory's predecessor in the race for golf glory had a significantly longer criminal record. And indeed, Rory is far behind Tiger Woods in terms of accomplishments, by 27. But if you had to choose between Woods winning at any cost and McIlroy's moderately laid-back attitude, which one would you prefer? Do you believe that Rory will have burned out by the middle of his 30s, just like Tiger's fixation has? Perhaps McIlroy's choice to withdraw from the Olympics is the loss of a golden chance, or just perhaps it is the courageous decision of an adult. You can only criticize how it was done, and that's it. He probably ought to have stated his intentions from the start if he didn't want to participate in the Olympics. In a press appearance a few weeks earlier, he made this admission. He said bluntly, "I didn't get into golf to expand the game. I came into golf to win major championships." That very much lays bare the reality that the Zika virus argument was an elaborate farce. Although I'm unsure, I'll probably watch the Olympics and golf. I'll watch swimming, track and field, and other important events. And in that, we touched on the crux of the issue. Olympic golf is irrelevant because it shouldn't be included in the games. Large golf events are held virtually every weekend. Every year, there are 4 major championships, as well as Ryder Cups, match play competitions, and other events that keep us on our toes. Why do we need high-profile, well-paid golfers to steal the show when there are gymnasts and javelin throwers who have been training quietly for years to get this opportunity? If anything, we should be grateful that he didn't overshadow more deserving players. It is absurd to think that including golf in the Olympics will expand the game. The entire game is already developed. In addition, tennis and football can be dropped from the Olympics while this is being done. But this debate isn't even about golf. It's about us. It is about how we scream when we are not given the chance to win gold medals at the Olympics. How we expect our athletes to succeed and then find excuses to resent them after they do is beyond me. We're lucky in Ireland that we've got 2 world-class golfers. Maybe it's time we backed both of them instead of just picking a side. Do you hate McIlroy, or is it the opposite case? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's the end of this video. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.